Okay, this is going to go over the preferences that you can set. And just so that you're aware, this warning will come up. It's because if you change the preferences for a show, and then you start to work a different way after you've created some assets a specific way, things may not behave because there's been a lot of inconsistency. So just beware. And there's 3 options, I guess technically 4 options for what you do with your preferences. First one is apply and quit, which will take all the preferences you have set in your current session of setting preferences, and it will then apply those changes and quit out of this. When you make a change, it actually has not gone through because we didn't do apply and quit. Revert is because when you do an apply, when you apply and quit, the previous preferences that you had are backed up. So if you do something that you find suddenly it doesn't work, go and revert. But if you make a change, if you do an apply and quit, and then go continue, and then try to do another change, you can only revert to that last change. And defaults are to reset all the settings to the default settings that it comes with when you first install the program. So the options here are the startup mode, whether or not you start in the assets menu or the shots menu, and the other thing is the feedback level. The feedback level is what you get in terms of printed feedback in the script editor window as to what's going on. If you wanted to, excuse me, you can set it to minimal, and you'll get very little feedback. But especially when you're new with the program, and especially if you're a beta tester, it's worth it to put it on high. The shots preferences, you're setting the resolution. It's got a couple of presets. I'll add more as more are brought to my attention that people would want. Right now it's NTSC, which is the resolution, and then this is the resolution that you will be rendering at. There's PAL, there's HD, and then of course there's custom, which you can set any of these things. But whatever you have the show resolution set to, there is a play blast resolution, which is either going to be the same. That's when you take a play blast. It's going to be either the same, a half, quarter, or you can do it a custom setup. When you're doing a play blast, when you're making a play blast from the shots menu, you can set what's going to be visible when that happens. The defaults are just geometry, but for some reason you might want to have NURBS curves visible, planes, lights. This would be where you set that, so that then all the play blasts you make from here using the blast button will go with these settings as to what's visible. You have the shots departments, which is the departments that are here. Now, any changes you make here will only affect shots that you make after invoking this change in the preferences. For example, there are these, there's an effects thing here. If I add, I don't know, let's say finaling, and then I were to go apply, you'd see finaling appear here, but none of these shots have a finaling department set in their shots because they were created before that was true. So again, that's why you'd like to make these changes beforehand, before you start working on a show. If you want to remove one of these options, you can just highlight it and delete it. there are a couple of departments which you may or may not want to add or delete. That's your call. Under the shot subdirectories, this is related to the way that Plumber sets up their databases. Each shot is actually, let's see, this is the actual directory tree. So we're up demo. Prod 6, 17. Each shot is actually a series of directories for each department, and each department is a different Maya project. So when you create a new shot, everything that's here are the directories that are created. Maya uses the defaults in terms of the workspace to link up with the way it saves files. But there are certain things which you may want to add. Like, for example, here there's the Plumber Notes file directory that gets added because there are notes for each of the shots, and that's where they get stored. There's also a Playblasts directory. You may want to add directories for your own custom production tools. It's your call. Make those changes here. They're added the same way. You can delete if you don't like one, or you can add.